on your back now! What is this, son? You got a warrant for your arrest!
From a fresh-faced kid to a street-tough rebel, Dee Jay Daniels' story flipped faster than anyone could have imagined. One moment, he was Hollywood's golden child. The next, his shine started slipping into something darker, something no one saw coming. Born on October 17, 1988 in Montclair, California, DJ's early life seemed straight out of a feel-good movie. He spent his first few years in Compton before his dad decided it was time for a change, moving the family out to the Inland Empire for a better shot at stability. Growing up in Fontana, everyone could see he had that spark, that natural charisma that made people stop and pay attention. His parents wasted no time pushing him toward opportunity, taking him to auditions when most kids his age were still learning how to ride a bike. It didn't take long before the cameras fell in love with him. At just 5 years old, DJ landed his very first gig, a Honey Nut Cheerios commercial that had everyone smiling. That single spot was the spark that lit the fuse for what would become his rise in Hollywood. Soon after, he scored a McDonald's Deluxe Space Jam commercial, right alongside Michael Jordan himself. Imagine that. A little kid from Compton sharing screen time with one of the biggest legends alive. With that, the momentum was unstoppable. He started popping up in hit shows like Grace Under Fire and In the House with LL Cool J. For DJ, working with LL wasn't just acting, it was a dream come true. He and his dad were massive fans, and now he was standing next to him, part of the same world. Even when In the House got canceled, DJ didn't slow down. He kept landing roles in classics like Coach, Family Matters, and The Wayans Bros. Each part pushed him closer to his breakout moment. The Huleys, the sitcom that took him from a familiar face to a household name. On that show, DJ played the son of D.L. Hughley, a role that would change everything. The Huleys ran from 1998 to 2002, 4 solid seasons before the curtain finally dropped. But even after the show ended, DJ Daniel kept the grind going strong. He popped up in major shows like ER, The Bernie Mac Show, Sky High, Cold Case, and even Fireflies. He was still getting shine, until suddenly the phone stopped ringing. That's when everything began to fall apart. Around that same time, life hit him hard. His parents' divorce completely shattered his world. The happy, focused kid that once lit up the screen started slipping into chaos. DJ began skipping school, falling behind, and watching his grades crash fast. And for a young actor, that was a career ender. Hollywood had no patience for failing report cards. By 19, DJ's whole image started to change. He began covering his face in tattoos, a move that shocked everyone around him. In Hollywood, your face is your money, your brand, your ticket to work. But DJ didn't care anymore. He felt like the industry had already written him off, so why play by their rules? The tattoos weren't just for looks. They were rebellion, frustration, and pain inked across his skin. Even his agents backed away, acting like he was too difficult to work with. DJ felt completely abandoned. Another child star chewed up and spit out by an industry that only loved him when he was smiling for the cameras. After 4 years on the Huleys, he couldn't escape that image no matter what he tried. He was boxed in, typecast, and shut out. Feeling lost, DJ turned back to where it all started, Compton. He began rolling with the Looters Park Pirates, a black gang based on the east side of the city. To him, they weren't just gang members. They were family, people who didn't judge him for what he used to be. With acting behind him, DJ set his sights on rap, hoping to rise again through music and make a name that couldn't be taken away. But that dream didn't last long. On August 5th, 2011, just after 2 a.m., things took a fatal turn. DJ was at a sports bar in Stockton, kicking it with friends, Joanne and Marcus, when tension started brewing. Before long, they began flashing gang signs at another crew across the bar, a group that included JJ, Ashley, Kendra, and Aaron. And that's when everything spiraled out of control. JJ and his crew were allegedly rolling with the Crips, while DJ and his boys repped Bloods, two worlds that never mixed peacefully. When the bar finally closed, chaos erupted out of nowhere. Gunfire cracked from down the street, even though neither crew was involved. Panic swept through the crowd, people rushing to get out, but the energy in the air was already heavy, tense, dangerous, and seconds away from disaster. As everyone scattered, JJ spotted Marcus, DJ, and Joanne walking down the street, still throwing up signs and yelling gang talk. Marcus, heated and ready to prove something, clenched his fists and stepped up to JJ, asking, "Where you from?" JJ tried to calm things down, saying, "Oh, bro, I ain't got nothing to do with that." But Marcus wasn't backing off. He squared up, ready to fight, and that's when DJ and another guy named Dwayne moved in, closing the circle like things were about to explode. Before anyone could blink, JJ's friends jumped in to defend him, and suddenly it was chaos. Fists flying, shouts echoing, bodies clashing under the streetlights. The fight turned brutal fast. JJ got stabbed multiple times in the frenzy, and his friend Taylor, who tried to step in and protect him, got slashed too. Blood was on the pavement, and the night spiraled into something no one could take back. Everything that followed felt unreal. JJ's friends dragged his wounded body into a car and rushed toward the 500 block of Garfield Avenue, desperate to save him. They waited for an ambulance, but even the medics struggled to reach them. More gunfire was popping off further down the block, trapping everyone in a nightmare that just wouldn't stop. That night changed everything. JJ Lewis didn't make it. He died later at the hospital, his life cut short before he even had a chance to process what happened. For DJ, it marked the point of no return. Before this, he already had minor trouble with the law. A few misdemeanor warrants, some weed charges, driving without a license. Small stuff. But after that night, none of that mattered anymore. He was about to face something far bigger and far darker than anything he'd ever imagined. Just a few hours after the fight, DJ was arrested and hit with some of the heaviest charges imaginable: premeditated homicide, gang activity, and a list of other serious crimes. It was a shocking fall from fame to infamy. The same kid who once made America laugh was now facing life behind bars. His attorney wasted no time filing a motion to dismiss the case, arguing that DJ had no idea a fight was even coming, and that he wasn't the one who pulled the knife or stabbed JJ. If the judge had agreed, that would have been the end of DJ's nightmare right there. But fate wasn't on his side. The motion was denied. Prosecutors came hard, claiming DJ and his crew were throwing gang signs and acting like it was a setup, a calculated hit on rivals in disguise. According to Vlad TV, DJ was only 21 at the time, but the first-degree homicide charge alone carried a sentence that could have kept him locked up for life, a minimum of 25 years, maximum of forever. Sitting behind bars at just 21, denied bond, staring down the kind of time most people don't survive mentally. Still, he refused to fold. He decided to take his chances in front of a jury and fight for his life. When the trial finally began in late 2012, the courtroom was packed. And then came the twist no one saw coming. D.L. Hewley himself, DJ's on-screen dad from the Hewleys, took the stand to defend him. He vouched for DJ's character, speaking about his upbringing, his struggles, and the kind heart people didn't always see. It was emotional and raw. But Hewley's testimony stirred its own storm. Under questioning, he admitted to once having ties to the Bloods, which prosecutors used to suggest DJ was part of that same world. They tried to spin it like... Then came the bombshell. During the trial, it was revealed that DJ's friend, 26-year-old Marcus McLean, was actually the one who stabbed JJ Lewis. That truth changed everything. Jurors found DJ and another co-defendant, 27-year-old Dwan Nunley, not guilty on all counts after hearing McLean confess to the slaying on the stand. He took full responsibility, clearing both DJ and Nunley completely. When the verdict came down, DJ was free, but his friend wasn't so lucky. McLean was acquitted of first-degree homicide but convicted of voluntary manslaughter, earning an 11-year prison sentence. DJ walked out of that courtroom a free man, but nothing about his life would ever be the same again. These days, DJ Daniels keeps things low-key. No flashing lights, no red carpets, just quiet living away from the madness. Whether Hollywood will ever welcome him back is still up in the air, but one thing's for sure. His story sits among a long list of child stars whose fame came fast and crashed even faster. For so many young actors, the same pattern repeats. They grow up, the cute kid charm fades, and suddenly the calls stop coming. But sometimes, it's not just bad luck. Sometimes, it turns dark. Crimes, addictions, breakdowns, all playing out under the world's spotlight. Take Orlando Brown, for example. Back in the early 2000s, he was one of Disney Channel's brightest stars. Everyone knew him as Eddie Thomas from That's So Raven, funny, talented, full of energy. But the same guy who once had kids laughing across America would later become the center of one shocking headline after another. In 2016, TMZ reported that Brown was arrested in Torrance, California, and not just anywhere, but in a police station parking lot. He had allegedly assaulted his then-girlfriend right there during a heated argument. A witness saw it all go down and called the cops immediately. When officers took him in, they found methamphetamine on him, making things even worse. He was charged with illegal substance possession with intent to sell, having contraband in jail, and domestic battery. A triple hit that completely derailed his image. But that wasn't the end. Just 2 years later, in 2018, Brown got caught up in another wild situation. He was arrested in Las Vegas for burglary after allegedly changing the locks at Legends Restaurant and Venue, a spot owned by singer Danny Boy from Death Row Records. Surveillance footage showed Brown sneaking into the kitchen before covering the camera with a rag like something straight out of a movie. According to reports, Brown and Danny Boy had once been close friends, and Danny thought pressing charges might actually help Orlando get the wake-up call he needed to clean up and reset his life. And to make things even messier, back in 2014, audio surfaced online that allegedly caught Brown's voice threatening a woman, saying, "I'll end you, your mama, your daughter, everybody." Brown denied the recording completely, claiming the woman was just a stalker trying to ruin his name. His story, much like DJ's, shows just how quickly the industry that builds you up can turn its back when you fall. Even after all the chaos, Orlando Brown shocked everyone in 2021 when he announced that he had finally kicked his substance addiction. He credited a Christian-based rehab program for helping him turn his life around and reconnect with his faith. It was a powerful moment of redemption, proof that even after years of wild headlines, someone can still pull themselves out of the darkest places. Still, his story stands as a painful reminder of how fast fame can twist into downfall when the spotlight fades. Next up is Marcus T. Paulk, best known as the mischievous little brother Miles Mitchell from the 90s hit sitcom Moshe.
Police arrested former child actor Marcus Paulk. Police say Paulk was under the influence of marijuana and alcohol when they...
Back in the day, he was that kid everyone loved. Funny, confident, full of energy. But in 2013, his name made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Out of nowhere, he walked into a Los Angeles jail and turned himself in. Accused of assaulting his girlfriend, Andy Rocks, so brutally that she ended up hospitalized with internal injuries. According to TMZ, the trouble started in a Beverly Hills nightclub after Marcus felt Andy wasn't giving him enough attention. The argument followed them home, and that's where things allegedly turned violent. 3 months later, prosecutors hit him with serious charges: domestic violence and battery, crimes that could have put him behind bars for up to 4 years. In 2014, Marcus took a plea deal to dodge prison time. Instead, he was ordered to complete a year-long domestic violence treatment program and stay at least 100 yards away from Andy. It seemed like a second chance, but unfortunately, he didn't stay out of trouble for long. Just a year later, Marcus was arrested again, this time in Scottsdale, Arizona, the night before the Super Bowl. Police charged him with DUI and possession of marijuana. He eventually pled guilty to the DUI, got 12 months of probation, and had to complete an alcohol education program. The weed charge was dropped, but by then, another child star's name now tied to scandal instead of success. And then there's Ryan Grantham, a name that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. He was the fresh-faced Canadian actor who appeared in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Supernatural, and Riverdale.
Child star is facing serious allegations.
Hi, I'm Ryan Grantham.
Now, he's just pled guilty to shooting his own mother in British Columbia. And he also allegedly had plans to assassinate Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Everyone thought his career was on the rise, until 2022, when the world learned about a crime so dark, it didn't seem real. In September of that year, Ryan was sentenced to life in prison for the second-degree homicide of his 64-year-old mother, Barbara Waite. In Canada, second-degree homicide means an automatic life sentence. The only question left was when he'd be allowed to apply for parole. The judge's decision was chilling. He won't even get a shot at freedom until 2036. From child star to convicted criminal, Ryan's fall wasn't just tragic, it was unthinkable. His story cemented one brutal truth about Hollywood fame. It can lift you high, but if you're not grounded, it can destroy you completely. According to CBC News, the horrifying events took place on March 31st, 2020, when 21-year-old Ryan Grantham did something unthinkable. He shot his own mother while she was playing piano inside their home in Squamish, British Columbia. What followed was even more chilling. Ryan recorded a video of himself confessing to the unaliving, and in that same footage, he showed his mother's lifeless body. It was a moment that stunned even the most seasoned investigators. The next morning, Ryan returned to the scene and did something haunting. He surrounded his mother's covered body with candles and hung rosary beads from her piano as if performing some twisted ritual. Then he packed his car with guns, ammo, and camping gear, reportedly planning to drive all the way to Ottawa to assassinate Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. But that wasn't his only plan. Investigators later revealed that Ryan also intended to carry out a mass firearm incident at his own school, Simon Fraser University. Thankfully, none of that happened. Somewhere along the drive, Ryan's mind cracked. Instead of going through with his fatal plans, he turned himself in at the Vancouver Police Department, confessing everything in full detail. During his 2022 sentencing, Ryan appeared hollow, filled with regret but unable to undo what he'd done. He told the court, "I cannot explain or justify my actions. I have no excuse. It hurts me to think about how badly I've wasted my life." His words sent a chill through the courtroom, a tragic reminder of how mental collapse, fame, and isolation can twist a young life beyond recognition. Then there's Jeremy Jackson, another child star whose rise and fall shocked fans everywhere. He was just 10 years old when he landed the role of Hobie Buchanan on Baywatch, the show that made him a household name across the world. But by 35, that same bright-eyed kid was making headlines for all the wrong reasons.
Officers were called to a burglary suspect call in the Westlake district. There, they reportedly found Jackson running from the area and detained him. Police say Jackson matched the description of a man wanted.
In 2015, Jackson was arrested in Los Angeles after allegedly stabbing a woman multiple times, in her arm, legs, and back, during an altercation that reportedly started when he tried to steal her boyfriend's car. Police later tracked him down at a hotel, charging him with assault with a fatal weapon and making criminal threats. After posting bail, Jackson checked straight into a rehab facility, a move that made it clear his life was spinning out of control. By 2017, Jeremy Jackson's downfall was complete. He pled no contest to the charges and was sentenced to 270 days in LA County Jail, plus 5 years of probation. From lifeguard fame to county jail, the fall couldn't have been harder. Later, during an interview for his Child Star Confidential, Jeremy opened up about how fame ruined him, admitting, "I probably made over $2 to $3 million from Baywatch. I had the means to destroy myself. I had a lot of money, and a lot of people around me that weren't really my friends, but I thought they were." His honesty hit deep. Another star, another reminder that Hollywood success can come with a price too high to pay. Jeremy Jackson later admitted how far things had spiraled out of control. "I totally got sucked into a downward spiral of a lifestyle," he said, revealing that his substance of choice, crystal meth, nearly destroyed him completely. That addiction sent his life into a dark tailspin, proving that even fame, money, and good looks can't save someone from their demons once they take hold. And then there's Lillo Brancato, another name etched into Hollywood's list of fallen stars. He exploded onto the scene at just 17 years old in A Bronx Tale, 1993, where his performance stunned critics and made him one of the most promising young actors of his generation. He went on to land roles in Crimson Tide and The Sopranos, proving he had the range and charisma to go the distance. But behind the scenes, his personal life was falling apart fast. By 2005, Brancato's addiction had taken over. That December, he and his friend Stephen Armento tried to break into a Bronx apartment belonging to his late friend Kenneth Serdari to steal substance, not realizing the man had died months earlier. During the break-in, chaos erupted when an off-duty NYPD officer, Daniel Enchaudagi, who lived next door, rushed to the scene to stop them. The confrontation ended in tragedy. Officer Enchaudagi was shot and unalived. Although Brancato wasn't the shooter, his involvement sealed his fate. He was convicted of attempted burglary and in 2009, sentenced to 10 years in prison. The judge made it clear a brave young officer had lost his life because of that night's choices. Brancato served his time and was released in 2013, vowing to rebuild his career. But the stain of that tragedy still shadows his every step. Another heartbreaking case is Edward Furlong, once one of Hollywood's brightest young stars. He rocketed to fame as John Connor in Terminator 2. Judgment Day alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, a role that should have set him up for life. But fame hit too early and too hard. Substance, chaos, and toxic relationships began eating away at everything he'd built. By 2013, Furlong's downfall was public. He was arrested in West Hollywood for allegedly assaulting his ex-girlfriend, a woman who already had a protective order against him. Authorities said he not only attacked her, but also smashed her laptop during the incident. He pled no contest to domestic violence, and while 6 other charges were dropped in a plea deal, including witness intimidation and vandalism, he still served nearly 3 months in jail and got slapped with 5 years of probation. For a guy who once starred in one of the biggest movies in history, that fall was brutal. Another cautionary tale of how Hollywood can lift you up to the clouds one moment, then drop you straight into the fire the next. Edward Furlong's story didn't end in darkness, at least not completely. After years of chaos, the court ordered him to attend domestic violence counseling and complete a 90-day substance rehab program, forcing him to face the damage he'd done head-on. And surprisingly, it worked. In a 2022 interview with the Daily Mail, Furlong revealed that he'd finally been sober for 4 years, marking a huge turnaround in his life. He said the change came after yet another arrest in 2017 for substance possession, an arrest that ironically ended up saving him. After entering rehab again, something finally clicked. The fog lifted, the cycle broke. Reflecting on everything he'd been through, Furlong admitted, "When I was younger, I didn't have too many people looking out for me, and I was left to run wild. I didn't know how to manage my money. I was never a normal teenager. I had a very unnormal life. I was almost destined for substance addiction." His honesty hit hard, raw, real, and painfully relatable. It's heartbreaking seeing how many of these once beloved child stars crashed under the weight of fame. But seeing even a few of them rise back up, like Furlong, gives a little hope that maybe redemption isn't out of reach. So what do you think? Can Hollywood's lost stars ever make a real comeback? Or are some scars too deep to heal? Drop your thoughts below. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you in the next one.